Hey folks, I'm Jake Davis. The top 5 video for today. This my fifth of 7 videos covering my favorite movies of the year. Uh, I gave out a lot of awards. I'm down to the final few now. Best Picture, Actor, and the category I'm covering today, Best Actress of the Year in a leading role. Yeah, just get into it. My number 5 will be Sophie Thatcher as Iris in Companion. Companion was an interesting little horror movie, and that's a little bit of a spoiler here. Very, very horror strong this year for Best Actresses for me. Companion is about this. She plays a sex robot who is then framed for murder by her user. Uh, it's about her. She gets a hold of the remote that controls her, so she can up her intelligence as a way to try to escape. But she's in a mansion in the middle of nowhere, and she really doesn't know much about how to use most things because she's just a toy in a lot of ways. It's an interesting performance. It's a really fun movie. Jack Quaid is also excellent in it. And this isn't probably going to happen much more, but the idea of an AI horror movie from the perspective of the AI being both the victim and the protagonist. She's really good. And Thatcher herself she's a rising scream queen for sure, man. The Boogeyman wasn't that great, but she was good in it. And last year's Heretic with Hugh Grant was excellent. And her playing one of the Mormon nuns, she had a good performance in that. It's a really, really good movie. If you haven't seen Heretic, check that one out. 4th place, I'm going to say Sally Hawkins as Laura and Bring Her Back. Bring Her Back is a criminally unappreciated, underseen film. It came out in the early summer and didn't really, it did, I guess, at best, okay box office. But it was a follow-up to the Filippo brothers, Talk to Her. And I had heard at some point these guys worked on the Bluey show, but I couldn't find that anywhere researching for this. So maybe that was just a fallacy on my part. But Sally Hawkins is excellent in this. She's been a good actress for the last 20 years or so. Picked up a couple of Oscar nominations. And she's just really interesting in this as a foster mother who who is working an angle where she's convinced she can use these children to somehow raise the dead. Hawkins is terrific in this, and I also really appreciated the presentation of children. When you work with children in horror, when you do it appropriately, you can have something really great and special like this, or It, or another example in my Night of the Hunter. But you have to be careful when you work with children in horror, because I think so many times when they work with this, they're like something like The Blob or Grindhouse or various slasher films over the years. Like when they finally had Michael Myers kill a kid in a movie, I thought they went about it completely wrong. And maybe they shouldn't have ever done it, because from my perspective, Michael Myers is like Jason. They never really grew up. So if there's anybody they're sympathetic and that they would see as a peer, someone innocent, harmless, someone that they would, why would they fuck with a kid? It just didn't work. There's certain evils or certain monsters where, yeah, of course they would feed on children, like Pennywise or Freddy Krueger. But other characters, it just really doesn't work for me. And I thought this was an excellent movie that dealt with the real evils of the world. and Hawkins was terrific in it. I've kind of rambled about this one too long, haven't I? Third place, I'm going to say Julia Garner as Justine Gandy in Weapons. I was back and forth. Oh my god. This song. I was back and forth with what I was going to do with Weapons with lead performances. I consider this film an ensemble, so I wasn't sure if I really even wanted to know. At a time, I was just going to completely shut out performances in lead categories. But the more and more I sat on it, the more it just felt wrong. I really wanted to recognize these performances. And Justine is probably the closest thing we have to a main character in the movie. We kind of begin and end the story with her, but she's a third grade teacher who one day 17 of her 18 students disappear in the middle of the night. And of course the entire town is looking at her and holding her responsible. And even though she has nothing to do with this, she's a completely innocent woman, her personal issues come to the surface. The fact that she's having an affair with a married police officer, the fact that she's been arrested for drunk driving, that she has been fired from being a teacher before. She is a troubled woman. She's not a bad person, but you can tell that the weight of her mistakes and her failures in her life weigh on her, and she's taken life hard. And it's a very good performance and a very good character. And just a fucking great movie. Second place, I'm going to say Cate Blanchett as Catherine St. Jean in Black Bag. Black Bag is a movie about two spies, a husband and wife, who are being manipulated by someone to kind of go against each other. There's no way. Cate Blanchett, it feels it feels condescending to call her one of the best female actresses. Because she's not just that. She's one of the greatest actors of all time. She's one of my favorite actors of all time. I think she is the greatest female actress ever, at least in movies. You know, she has the record for most for actresses for appearing in more Best Picture nominees than anyone else. For men, it's De Niro. But she's just always so fucking great. Except for Borderlands. And she needed a role like this, a film like this, after Borderlands. And she has this great bit towards the end where it's just so matter of fact and blunt. And it's really a situation that she's not going to repeat herself. You know, next round is going to be a fucking bullet. She's really great in this. And my winner, I mean, it's really, there's no competition in a lot of ways. Kate's great, but my winner is Emma Stone as Michelle Fuller in Begonia. Begonia is the story of two conspiracy theorists kidnap a CEO because they are convinced she is an alien. Now, she plays the CEO who they think is an alien. Now, I just want to point out, it doesn't matter if she's an alien or not, because this woman is completely inhuman. She is a cruel, manipulative, soulless creature. The way she treats people, talks to people, even while dealing with the people who have her captive, she just cannot drop her ego or her sense of self-importance. Everything is about her. Everything revolves around her. She is so cocky and confident that she's gonna win. She even says, 2 seconds. Kids. There's a great line towards the end of the movie, well, not towards the end, it's about the middle of the film, where Emma says to Teddy, her captor, with all the confidence in the world, because you'll never beat me, because I'm a winner, you're a loser, and that's life. And she's just it's hard to root for her. Even in the threat of torture and murder and dissection, she's never she's always got this sense of arrogance. I'm better than you. And there's also Emma. I've always think it's interesting when a woman shaves her head like that, because it's not that I find it attractive, but it is and interesting to see a woman just be so confident about that, about her looks, about her about herself. You know, the thing of Natalie Portman and V for Vendetta. I mean, yeah, she just knew that she was good in this movie. She looked fucking great, and she didn't need her hair to do it. It just added to everything that she brought to that picture. And it's the same thing with this, like nearly 20 years later. Emma's terrific in this. She's fucking great in this movie. And this is my third time in 3 years nominating her. And it's my second time in 3 years I'm giving her the award. Emma Stone, right now, like Scarlett Johansson, is like, they understand that being a movie star, yes, it is being talented. It's finding work that's right for you. And it's also being likable. You have to be likable for people. But honorable mention, speaking of Scarlett Johansson, Jurassic World Rebirth. It's terrible. She's not really good at it, but she's Scarlett Johansson, so she's an honorable mention. Rachel Brosnahan was the best performance in Superman, even though they really didn't give Lois Lane much to do. Ana de Armas's Ballerina. We didn't need a spinoff to John Wick, especially about a character we hadn't even met yet. But that film it's a fine little action movie. Alison Brie was my main runner-up for Together. And, you know, just I nominated, for my best actress, I nominated 3 women for horror movies. And 4 if you count Begonia as horror adjacent. And yeah, it's always a great thing. I mean, I did a video years ago about I think I called it something like the vicious and victorious women of horror, where I basically went into it, talked about, yeah, I think that horror films have really given women a lot of chance to shine as both performers and characters. Pamela Anderson was really funny in The Naked Gun, even though there's no way in hell I was ever going to nominate her. Julia Roberts in After the Hunt. I'm glad she's nominated for a Golden Globe, and she's good in this movie. But it is always strange to have movies like this when the main character of the film actually seems to be the one who has the least to do with the actual plot and the story moving forward. I got a similar vibe out of The Dark Knight. Like, Batman it's a Batman movie. It should be about Batman, but the movie's just kind of about how Batman maneuvers around everyone else who drives the story forward. And Jennifer Lawrence in Die My Love, I did not like that movie, but she was good in it. I also wanted to take a minute to mention, because I keep forgetting about Death of a Unicorn. It's not a good movie, but it is a pleasant little fun sit down and watch as a group horror movie. It has a lot of good actors in it. It has a wacky premise. It's worth a watch. Very similar to an 80s film called Dolls, which is seems a bit of a forgotten classic. I was going to say something about Julia Garner. Also, somehow Julia Garner ended up in the best and worst horror films of the year. That's strange. The worst being, of course, Wolfman. The best being, obviously, Weapons. And just Samara Weaving was in Borderline. Terrible movie. I watched it just for her. And the scene where she sings a Celine Dion song with one of her kidnappers is somehow a genuinely great little scene in the middle of an utter piece of shit. If it wasn't for that one scene, I would have already forgotten that movie existed. Anyhow, 2 more of these to go. I'm Jake Davis, and I'll catch you on the fly.